Controlling your data is absolutely critical for ensuring that you can keep it safe. You don't want it to be floating around in random cloud applications like ChatGPT. You don't want it floating around on people's personal devices, then they leave or they give that to somebody else, and boom, your sensitive data is in another person's hands. There are some technical controls you can use. On the screen here is an example of Microsoft's DLP cheat sheet. There's all kinds of tools and features in Microsoft products that you can use to restrict access, prevent people from downloading sensitive information onto personal devices, for example, or warning or blocking sharing attempts when sharing is outside your organization or to certain places that are prohibited. So lots of opportunities to put technical controls in place. There's also policies. You want to make sure to have a clear policy about where team members can and can't put sensitive information, and then make sure that you're training people and including it in awareness programs. All right, we also need to have a good understanding of what assets we have. So it's not just where is your data, is it living in the cloud, is it living on people's devices? You need to have a full list of assets which you may be using as part of your infrastructure and also to store sensitive information. A good example of why you need that is because often we see people scanning, conducting vulnerability scans of perimeter systems, for example, to make sure that they're not vulnerable. But if not all applications or IP addresses are included in that list, you are going to miss things. As a penetration testing company, I can tell you we see that all the time, where people provide us with a range or a list of IP addresses, and we're checking year after year to make sure that that list is complete and correct. And often there's surprises where systems are discovered that people may not realize is there, things like that. So, for example, the federal government just warned that threat actors exploited software. There had been a patch available for 3 years in the software that was running by this federal agency. And the reason they were able to exploit it, it actually had been subject to vulnerability scans on a regular basis, but those scans were not configured to actually check for that application. Like that application was running on a different port or a different URL than the vulnerability scanner was configured to check. So you want to make sure you understand, again, where your sensitive information is, where your sensitive assets are, and that all of your systems are configured to include those in your security program. So that just came out. Check it out when you get a chance. It was a good notification. How do you fix this? Make sure you are regularly conducting data and asset inventories. Check out the handout. That's one of the items on there. You have to know what data you have and what assets you have in order to be able to protect them. So make sure you're identifying that sensitive information, all of your sensitive assets that are important for your infrastructure. You can do this in an automated fashion using tools, or you can start off by doing it manually if that's a good first step for you. So any progress is better than perfection. We're never going to reach perfection.
Thank you so much, everyone. Again, this is Sherry Davidoff, CEO of LMG Security. If you have any questions, please reach out anytime. We'd love to hear from you. You can email us at info@lmgsecurity.com or find us on LinkedIn and follow us on Twitter. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you next time.